reached Brian's cell phone. Please leave your name, your number, and the time you've called, and I'll return your call just as soon as I can. Thank you.
Hey, hello, Brian. I was giving you a call because I was responding to your ad about looking for a rent to own. Um, right now, I'm currently out of town, and I have a few properties I'm considering to do a rent to own or owner financing. Um, so I'm just debating on which one I want to choose, which one would be a fit for you. See if we can work something out. My number is 920-422-8347. Look forward to hearing from you. Take care. And when you have to leave a message, leave something short and sweet like that. Just say, "Hey, I'm out of town. Uh, I have a few properties I'm considering to do a rent to own on," and leave them the contact information. That's what you do for so they when they check their messages, they're just like, okay, well, it's not just a random number that's calling out of town like a bill collector or something like that. It's a legit person. Let's try another one. That one has an email. I'm actually gonna call. I'm actually gonna call Reggie, and that's one of Jason's leads. That's the one that you posted yesterday, Jason.
Yep.
Hmm. Now this guy might be kind of interesting, right? You see, you sort of want to read, the description. When he says, "I can pay full price for your house and take care of all repairs and maintenance. If you lease me your house with an option to buy it, I will cover your monthly payments with rent until I cash you out. No chasing payments, no repairs, and no management problems. Call Reggie now through no obligation conversation." See, now that sounds like somebody doing what we're doing. That's a little bit too sales like for someone that wants to live inside a house. So it sounds to me like Reggie is looking for people to do rent to owns and lease options. Because somebody that wants to live inside a house, is typically, just gonna say, "Hey, well, I'm looking for a house for me and my dog, or me and my family. I am just looking for something within square footage of this and 3 bedrooms of this." That's a little bit too broad. What I mean, for somebody that's looking for something specific. So I guarantee you right now, if I call Reggie, he's gonna have some type of company behind him. You guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you see a description like that, um, you do want to go ahead and outsource your network, because there's a good chance that Reggie might have some properties and might just need some tenant buyers. There's a good chance that he has tenant buyers and just needs some properties. So you can go ahead and call Reggie, and how you typically work with people like that. You just say, "Hey, Reggie, I'm doing, just first ask, hey, are you an investor?" And like I said, 80 to 90 to 100% chance that he is. He'll say, "Yes, I'm an investor." And you say something like, "Well, hey, I'm a marketer, and I market for properties, and I market for tenant buyers as well. I was looking to see if maybe we could do some work together, and see if we can go ahead and put some deals together." So you see somebody like Reggie, and you're gonna wanna go ahead and reach out to him. If he's not, let's go ahead and give Reggie a call. Why not? But I am pretty sure that Reggie is an investor that's doing the same thing that we're doing. I'll show you how to work with people that are investors as well.
me your name and your number, and I will call you back as soon as possible.
Hello, Reggie. My name is Devante. I was responding to your ad on Craigslist, looking for rent-to-own houses in Palm Beach and Broward. Um, if you'd like to give me a call back at 920-422-8347. Thank you very much. Now, what did I tell you, folks? Reggie is definitely an investor. I've actually ran into a lot of people, like that, in California, and they sound just like him. Like I said, there's, a good chance that Reggie is an investor. So that's somebody that you're gonna wanna work with.
I mean, you should look at Palm Beach.
I should look at Palm Beach, huh?
Yeah, 'cause that's where most of the houses sell more.
Okay, let's go ahead and look in Palm Beach. Okay, and okay, let's see. We got a guy right here looking for a rent to own or rent in South Central Florida. A very successful middle-aged man who is looking to relate to South Central Florida. Now he needs the rent right now because his credit is pretty bad, and looks like he's went through a divorce, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, went on long-term disability. So it's very interesting. Now he's older. He understands, the rent to owns. He says rent up to 3 years to so he can get his credit right back up to 700. Um, Now it's very interesting because it looks like um, he is having some financial problems, but he says he's successful. So even though somebody might go through Chapter 7 or divorce or long-term disability or whatever the situation is, a lot of people, since they do have good jobs, just they're not income-wise, in a sense, life struggling. That doesn't mean that they're not going to have down payments. So somebody like Bill, that I believe that's what his name is. We hit reply right here. Yep, his name's Bill. Might be a good candidate, and that's why a lot of people are motivated for rent to owns because they go through divorces, they go through bankruptcies, they get hurt at their job and they're forced to go ahead and find something else. So that's primarily the reason why he would look for a rent to own. He probably owns his own business of some sort, and he has very good income, but due to life circumstances, he is unable to get financing from a bank at this time. You see how that works?
Mhm.
So in all actuality, he could be making over $100,000 a year income wise, but there's just so many things that could have put him into, a financial bubble, to where it sunk him, on his credit, and that's where he's had to file bankruptcy and go through things of that sort to go ahead and recover from that. Let's see. If you have something in mind after 20 years of not being able to start living part of my dream by living close, okay, let's go ahead and give Bill a call. Now, with this strategy, when I call buyers, you don't really need to tell them that you're a marketer, an investor, or whatever. You could just say, I'm out of town, right now, so I can't really, I'm out of town moving right now, so I can't really describe my properties too much. But I'm just kind of getting the basis of what you're looking for, because when it comes to this, buyers, they're not as sketchy. They're not really as skeptical as sellers. Sellers, they're pretty, skeptical because they have a mortgage tied. They have a mortgage tied to the property, or there's sentimental value. So with sellers, you got to kind of tiptoe around them and walk on eggshells a little bit sometimes. But when it comes to buyers, since yes, they do have money down and they will in the future have money invested into, a project or some type of portfolio, but at this moment they don't see buying as anything, sketchy. Most of them, and if they do, they usually leave their email. But as far as it looks like, Bill leaves his phone number because Bill is pretty open. So Bill isn't going to be that person that's going to be all skeptical, because if he was, he would just leave his email. But right now, it looks like Bill is actually pretty motivated to go ahead and look for a property. Now, it says it was posted a month ago, so it still very well be a hot lead. You know, um, within a month, you can still go ahead and find somebody that is looking for a rent to own, and it would still be a qualified lead. So I'm gonna go ahead and call Bill right now, and I will just go through the process of contacting a buyer. See what he's looking for. I see that he's looking for rent, or under 950. So we're gonna address all that. I'm gonna call Bill right now. Uh-oh. This is Bill's message. I don't know if that's a voicemail or.
Well,
Hello, I was calling and responding to your ad on Craigslist looking for a rent to own.
yes,
Yeah, your name is Bill, right?
yes, it is.
Hey, Bill, my name's Devonte. I'm sorry, I'm out of town right now, taking care of a few things. That's why I have this area code so my phone doesn't roam and charge my bill up the wall.
Huh?
What was that?
I said, okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of a few things right here, but I saw your ad and I'm able to kind of take down some information real quick and get back to you. I see I actually do have a few properties I'm thinking of doing a rent to own or owner financing on. Just be, just be the basis of me figuring out which one would be a good fit for myself and just kind of seeing what would be a good fit for you. Um, I'm just kind of getting an idea of what you would like and seeing what I'd be able to come up with. Um,
So I'm looking to come down to the area probably um, sometime next month because I keep hearing everything goes super fast. And with me being in Nebraska, that doesn't help. So I'm thinking of coming down to the area next month so I can look around and see what I find and have, at least put down deposits or whatnot on properties that seem to fit what I'm looking for so I can get something going. But really just looking for something that, um, two bedrooms, two baths. It's just myself and my two little beagles that I have, so I need something that's fenced in. Um, I want the second bedroom and second bath for if I have friends or family that should come down. Um, Ideally, I'd like to find a house that has a pool or enough space that I can put one in at some time. Um, Not much else to it. I mean, there's a lot of different here and there. Obviously, there I'm not getting basements and stuff like that. But that's okay with me. I don't want on the coast. I want at least close to some accessibility to water and that. But as I understand, Florida ain't that wide, and it doesn't take too far to get from one side to the other.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
I'm a certified scuba diver, and so is my brother, and I'm an avid boater, swimmer. I want to learn how to water ski. That's Florida's gonna be a perfect spot for me, and I'm also very, very handy as far as craft supplies. I lived many years here in the Midwest where we have basements, or basements and whatnot. I know my thing when it comes to framing walls, putting in electricity, putting down tile, stuff like that. So I don't even have to find houses perfect. If I find one that needs a little bit of work, I know how to do that work and put it in and make it pass code and just make it look beautiful and make it turn a house into exactly what I want it to be. So that's where I sit on that ad, is because ideally, if I can find a house that I really, really like, the reason to rent to own is because right now I'm going through get back into the work environment because I lost my initial job because I was sick too much. Actually, they terminated me because I didn't call them 3 days in a row, but that's because I was in ICU for 3 days and couldn't even talk. So my credit's been in the toilet as far as being able to get a mortgage on a house because of everything that your credit record I've had for the last year. But it's building back up, and we'll either rent for a few years until I can go down and get a mortgage, or look into just rental where I'm at a spot where my rental payments are counting towards mortgage on the house anyway, so that once I do put that into purchase, my rental payments have counted towards something.
Definitely, definitely, and yeah, I'll definitely relate to you and things of that nature. Yeah, it's tough. You know, I've been through something similar to where, you're sick and they're supposed to hold your job for you, especially when you got, verifiable true proof that, that it wasn't just a call in, that it wasn't just neglect for my job. You're literally hurt, and they still disregard that.
Like, well, the state of Nebraska made sure they heard that road out there. They got serious trouble for terminating me under those external circumstances, but the state of Nebraska is not it's an at-will state or a free will state. They can't, I have no way to go back and sue them for wrongful termination and whatnot, but the state of Nebraska penalized them pretty good through the unemployment office, so
Oh,
that
definitely.
was kind of,
And
um, but in the end, they're paying for my disability that while I was out, or at least they gave me 1 month of benefits, my short-term disability, so I was on because I was in and out of work so much, converted over to long-term disability, which is paid until February. So in the end, they're still paying me. And they said now they're paying me through their long-term disability provider at, kind of what I was making. So
oh, definitely, definitely makes sense. And Bill, what purchase price? I know you mentioned that you would like the payments to go towards the purchase price, and what type of purchase price were you looking to stay around?
that's what I can afford, and then based on because my old employer wants that, not the one that just got rid of me, but the one before that. But it depends on what they're going to give me for a salary, what I can afford. Um, but I just purchased a house here in Nebraska for over 250. So um, that was a 6,000 square foot home though too. I'm not looking for something that big. I think the last time I was looking down there, 3 bedroom homes with a pool, and that were going for around 150, and that seems to be right in my comfort zone.
Okay, so it was two-bedroom for home for how much? One more time?
Of course, this is a few years back, but I because I was interviewing for a job in Palm Beach through IBM, and while I was down there looking at homes at that time, and I've seen a few 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses going for about 150, 175.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And
So, because it just surprised me that, excuse me, that Florida was that cheap, because everyone kept telling me Florida's so expensive, Florida's so expensive, but
oh, definitely.
fine, good neighborhood, 2-bedroom, bath, the garage for my car, because I just bought a brand new car, and then a pool for me to have. That would be my perfect house, and obviously for my dogs to join me as well. I have 2 little beagles, so they're not ripped up the yard. They're not doing anything. They can go a little bit noisy if they want to, and that I help control, but that's the perfect house I'm looking for down there.
Most definitely, most definitely. And Bill, I know you mentioned possibly coming down next month and putting down a deposit. What do you think would be the best type of deposit you could come up with?
As far as, I mean, what do you mean? Because I mean, I'm used to first month plus security deposit. I've never done a rent to own before, so I don't know how that situation worked out.
Well, okay, okay. Well, I've done a few rent to owns. Typically, what I do is well, what it does is if you go ahead and you tell me the criteria you're looking for and the purchase price and out of the properties I look for that would be a good fit for me to do a rent to own on as well as you, we typically do a down payment, and the down payment actually goes towards the purchase price, and it actually gives a little bit more flexibility on the terms. If you need, I know you said you need about 3 years. We can give you 3 years. If you need more time, then we put an option to extend as well. So like we usually don't do like you know, we usually just do the first, the down payment, and then I actually also have a credit repair uh, system that I actually have a program of people that can actually help get your credit up within the time to qualify for a loan.
Because that's part of what's going through Cherry Park, going through this divorce and all that. We just finished up with Chapter 7, so I have no debt under my name, but I also have a Chapter 7 being on my credit. So that's what I'm battling too. But now that I've gotten rid of my wife, my credit is just starting to soar through the roof because I'm paying my bills on time. I've already reestablished a little bit of credit through a credit card, and paying that on time has helped my credit start going through the roof. Obviously, as I mentioned, I was qualified for a new to me car. It's only a year old, about through CarMax, but for 2014, and I'm loving it, and I qualified for that, and payments on that are helping me, reestablish my credit too. So anything I do to help reestablish my credit, because I was at a golden 75, and that's why I want to get it back.
Oh, definitely. And the good thing that I do is that I actually work with a few mortgage lenders and credit repair people. And what we do is when you get in the house, we start recording the fact that your payments are on time, and that actually it doesn't really boost your credit score, but it boosts the credibility with the bank. So whenever you're ready to purchase the house, finance a house, we bring that paperwork in and we say, hey, Bill's been paying for 2 3 years on time, every time he hasn't missed a payment, and that actually helps your credibility, which essentially, if you do, you're gonna get up to a 700 credit score, between what you're doing and between what we can help you out on. So either which way, that adding, to the fact that you are fixing your credit and the fact you haven't missed any payments you're not going to have any problem at all.
that'd be good. It's just the rent to own is gonna have to be a house that's pretty much got all the things I like to be able to stay to rent to own it. Otherwise, I'm looking at renting a year. If I can't find anything that is rent to own, then I have to rent something for a year, stay in that, see what I keep looking around and see what I can find that I like, and then until I find either the magic house for rent to own, or I just flat out purchase it. So.
Oh, exactly. And Bill, well, the down payment, there's another word for it. It's called the option fee. And pretty much the option fee means that the down payment that you put down, that once you put it down and it's recorded, that, the person that you buy the house from has to sell that house to you. That's what it means. It's the option that says, okay, I want a term for 3 years. I have a down payment, and once I put down that option fee, that the seller cannot sell the house out from underneath you. That is pretty much like written in stone. That when you put down that down payment, that's saying, hey, this is what I'm putting down to guarantee that if I choose to purchase this house, that you have to sell it to me.
Or at least give me first option.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, So, that's where, the down payment comes in, which also is the option fee. So, typically I just ask like what's the best that somebody can come up with, to see what would work for them and what would work for myself.
Okay. I don't know what those amounts usually run, but I've got the money to do both of them. So when I get down there, it'll just be a matter of figuring out, because I don't put down any money on something until I've seen it in person. And then, this is what I like. What do we need to secure this so that I can make this my future home? So.
Oh, right, right. Yeah, it just what I do is I actually have a title company and I have a real estate attorney, and that's to protect both parties, just to make sure that you're protected, I'm protected, and everything is recorded. Like you said, you don't.
Oh yeah, I'm not just the first time I bought a house. I'm probably working my way up to the house that I'm just getting rid of now. I bought my first house at 19, so. And I'm 46, so I've purchased several homes in my life. I know how this process works. So.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah, yeah. So pretty much, you know the process then. So it's not really too difficult. I guess just the step is I can definitely just send you some pictures, just so you can kind of get your mind wrapped around what I have, and then whenever you do come, to Florida, hopefully I can still have something for you. If not, I can still find something for you. I'm pretty decently connected, so even if I don't have something for you, I know your situation, and I'd still like to help you out, even if it's not coming from what I can offer you.
Okay. My lease here expires end of October, and so my thought was I have a few more things to wrap up here, and then sometime probably mid-July, I want to take a road trip down there. Like I said, to be able to look at homes and then put down money on anything I see so that I have it, I know it's mine, and then I can start planning on moving all my stuff down in there.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
But if we can stay in contact and have pictures of what you're looking at and whatnot, you may get a road trip out of me earlier.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah. I actually have a few properties. Most of them are pretty well turnkey. Some of them I do have require just a little bit of sweat equity. Nothing too major. So I'm kind of excited to see what you think and see what I can do to help you out. And it sounds like even though you've been through a lot, you're staying pretty positive.
Yeah. Yep. And part of the stuff I'm moving down there, the whole arsenal of woodworking equipment and tools that work on houses and that.
Oh, nice.
Um, I always look at different eyes because I want to see what I can do to it, but I want to remodel it.
Oh, definitely, definitely. So you're a certified scuba diver, is that right?
That's correct. Yep. First stage of these open water. I'm looking to go all the way up to the dive master, but now just certified enough that I can do all the stuff I can do, go out scuba diving with a buddy, because you always dive with a buddy and have fun.
Oh wow, you're gonna have a blast down here.
What parts of Florida are your properties?
Well, I got one around. I got some around the 305, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach. I got
I love that area.
what was that?
I love that area.
Which one? The Palm Beach?
Palm Beach. I love Palm Beach. I don't know why I've always fell in love with Palm Beach.
Oh, nice, nice.
Lauderdale's nice too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was actually in the military, and I was actually stationed out in Fort Lauderdale. Oh really?
Everything's is expensive. I have to remind him, no, it's the island. This is off the coast. It's expensive.
Oh, exactly, exactly.
Palm Beach is where the $1 million estates are. West Palm Beach is where everyone else lives.
All right, right. Yeah. Let me see. What is your availability today?
I'm available all day today. Like I said, I'm out on disability right now, so as I have got my resume into my previous employer, because they're holding positions open for me, if they want me. So waiting to hear back from them too. But basically, I'm available all day, every day. So.
Definitely, definitely. I wish I could stay and chat a little longer. I got some things I still gotta get done today. I'd definitely like to reach back to you today, and if I could actually grab an email from you, I would like to.
My email is WEWINSOR at gmail.com.
It's WE.
WINSOR.
Okay.
That's my first initial, middle initial, last name, WE10 at gmail.com.
You said W. Oh, I'm sorry. One more time. WINSOR.
WEWINSOR at gmail.com.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I will go ahead and reach out to you later on today. I will go ahead and maybe send you some properties that I got, some pictures and some addresses, so you can go ahead and do your due diligence, look them up online, check the pictures, see what you got to do to you know get your head wrapped around what the property looks like and the property worth and all that, and we can definitely stay in touch.
Likewise, because like I said, if I see what I like, I might have an earlier road trip than planned. So.
Definitely, definitely. Well, it's definitely good talking to you, Bill.
Likewise, we'll hear from you shortly.
All right, Bill, you take care, brother. Bye. What's going on, folks?
Nothing much.
What'd you think about that?
It's
That's pretty
cool.
good.
Now, what's on the rent price he's looking at?
He's looking at under $950 a month.
It ain't gonna be Delray. It's not gonna be Boca. It'll be around. I'll tell you this: in Palm Beach, it'll be Royal Palm. It'll be Forest Hill. It'll be Rivera Beach, Palm Beach Gardens, Lake Worth. Anything around there, yeah. Anything else, you're looking at a high price. And the reason I know that, lived here for 13 years.
Most
I lived,
definitely.
I lived in Palm Beach County for 13. And another thing, most places, if you have a dog, they have to be between 0 to 50 pounds. If not, you got to pay extra.
Most definitely. Now,
That's why I was saying his best bet, if he's looking for all that, his best bet is Port St. Lucie. And the reason I say that because one, the houses over there, they're old, they don't ask for much, and they're easy to buy. Palm Beach County is too much money. The reason is because we got too much polo. When there's polo and there's money. Like most, like here in Palm Beach, if I were to go right now to look for an apartment, I'm looking at easily 1,200. And if I have a dog, then I'm looking at almost 1,400 for rent.
definitely, definitely. Now, if we go back and rewind the tapes, you see how he said that he has a house in Nebraska that was 6,000 square feet, 6,000, and he's just like, oh well, I'm not looking for anything that big anymore. He's looking to downsize, but that's why I brought up the option fee, the down payment, and you don't really want to push that because I kind of felt it out that he had more than enough money to come up with the down payment. That wasn't an issue at all. You know what I mean? So you can kind of feel people out and see what they're looking at. You know what I'm saying? So um, you don't want to kind of push the down payment too much because then they're gonna get uncomfortable. Like, why does this guy keep pushing for a down payment? Is he desperate? Does he need the money? Does he need me to get a? Does he need for me to get does he need for me to be in his house so he can get some money? And then what's this guy's properties look like if he needs the money so bad? So, you know, sometimes you don't really need somebody to come out and say it. He said that he was working for IBM and stuff like that, or going to be start working for IBM. He's waiting for an offer for a job that's gonna be paying him salary. So there's a good chance that he is probably a six-figure earner. He's by the sound of what type of house he's looking for, what type of house he has bought in the past. Um, so like I said, is that once you guys keep just making calls and keep, pre-screening these prospects and screening prospects, not suspects, prospects, you're gonna be able to feel out people. You're gonna be able to feel them out that all right, well, somebody that was a landlord might have shot this guy down. Been like, oh, you're going through a chapter 13. You've been through bankruptcy. Your credit is down the toilet. They might not have touched this guy. And what's that mean for us? Good news. Screw him, because that guy is gonna bring us money. So the landlords that all want the picture perfect tenants, they can have them because that guy was actually a very very good guy. He sounds like a very nice man, very well mannered, and stuff like that. So on paper, he might not have qualified for a loan or qualified for a rental, a place or whatever, but that's their problem. You know what I mean? That guy, he's gonna be a good prospect for us, is because he does have the money down. He is experienced in buying a house. He's not just sitting in his bad situation to where his credit was in the toilet. He went to buy a car. He's making the payments. Now he's just looking to get his life back on track. So most people, it's very very tricky. It's very very tricky because if we go right back, we go right back to this, right? I share my screen. We go right back to this, and it says health issues, long-term disability, divorce, bankruptcy, and stuff like that. Normally, a year ago I would have been like, oh, this guy doesn't have any money. He's just trying to get into a nice place, and he's just trying to do it for the lowest amount of money. He doesn't have no money down or nothing. But that's why not everything of what appears is really reality. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to call people and actually get beneath the surface of what is really going on. to be able to figure out their true situation. So don't be so quick to write off people, because even though they're going into a Chapter 7 and he's in a long-term disability and he has health issues, doesn't mean he's not a qualified prospect. What's going on, Anna?
Wow, I'm surprised that it works like this. It's really shocking.
Why do you?
Wow, I mean.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, it sounds interesting because it's about, I guess, getting like their trust at first, and then you could just, I see that you didn't press too much about the money thing, so that way he was able to tell you more. And I noticed that they will talk if you just listen,
Oh, exactly. And you're right. The thing is when buyers are motivated and stuff like that, and you just let them talk. You don't really need to sell anything. That's why I tell people, like, the best way to sell is just to not sell. If somebody,
oh yeah.
I mean, perfect example, right? If you go, Jason and Anna, if you go into a car dealership, right, and you got 200 grand and you want to take some of that money, you want to buy a Jaguar or you want to buy a Lamborghini, do you need a salesman to come up to you and tell you how cool and how awesome the Lamborghini is?
Of course not, because you have the money. Of course not. You would have paid it regardless,
Exactly.
You don't really need anybody to do that.
Exactly. You know how cool the Lamborghini is. You know what I'm saying? You've been hearing about it ever since you were born, that the Lamborghini is a flashy, nice car. You don't need to hear that from somebody. So when we go ahead and we do find properties for him, we are just gonna send him the pictures and let him make his decision. We don't need to sit there and be like, and this is a beautiful, illustrious house. He's bought houses before. We don't need to try to convince him otherwise.
So pretty much we would still, say I'm not from Florida and someone wants something in Florida, I would still research the properties for them and show them their options.
Most definitely. Right now, what I'm gonna do today is go ahead and we're gonna be setting up investor-friendly brokers and agents for whatever areas you want to search. I have an agent right now in Georgia that can pull a list. So these brokers and agents, they get people all the time that cannot qualify for a loan. So the other way that they're going to qualify, just like Jason, is for owner financing or rent to own until they can get their credit right. Because even though that they don't have the qualifications to get a loan, they still want to enjoy being a homeowner.
That's me, because I did Chapter 7.
What was that, Jay?
I'm just like that guy who's looking for the house with the 2 beagles, because I did Chapter 7 about 4 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed a lot of people in New York, they have bad credit because I guess they're always spending money and stuff, and they can't really afford the apartment.
What part of New York you from?
What was that?
What part of New York?
Well, I'm from Harlem, New York, and I live in Bronx, New York. So it's so I know in New York, a lot of people would love this option.
Yeah, they do.
They would love this option. A lot of people, it's hard for them to get, rentals and stuff because their credit is just, I don't know, it's just in the toilet.
Oh, wow. Hold
a
on,
lot of people.
Hold on 1 second, folks.
Man, it's about to rain.
Oh, man.
Mother Nature's about to roll downhill.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how exactly we get paid, exactly directly from this. I'm still trying to figure that part out. I understand, the process, but it's just how we get paid. I'm trying to figure out.
I'm thinking we get paid when the person ends up putting the down payment and everything goes through. We get a percentage. So if say the house is
But they have
If
to do it through their real estate agent. They have to do it through the real estate,
hold on a second. So say it's $50,000, right?
right?
We might end up getting paid 10% of that, but depends on the percentage. Most of the time it's
Right?
10, most of the time it's 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask Devontae how it works again.
Like you just started doing this, or have you
Yeah,
done
I
this
just started
before?
doing this.
Oh, you done this before?
No, I just started doing this.
Like I haven't, I haven't done it at all. I'm just like learning the process.
Me
So like
too.
you oh, okay. I thought you actually called people and stuff
No,
like that.
no, I just started a few days ago.
Yeah. Like it makes sense, but a lot of people say, "Oh, this is illegal. Like, how could you do this?"
It is legal because I used to work with my stepmom. She worked for Century 21.
Oh, okay.
Um,
And the funny thing is, like, I was going for real estate. I was going for real estate, like getting my license and stuff. So this is actually pretty good, you know.
yeah, because it's different when you're working on a rent to own than when you're actually trying to get somebody to buy a house and to have somebody rent a house. Because when
Yeah.
you're having somebody buy a house, there's things that has to go through. One,
The credit, this, that,
before
and the deal could fall
before
through the same
before
day.
the credit goes through, do the walkthrough. Then
Yeah, you
after that,
pre-screen them. I would pre-screen them before anything.
yeah. Then after that, you have to find out if they have any criminal record, if they ever did a bankruptcy, if their credit's low. And then after that, they have to find out if the bank approves them. If not, they have to have a cosigner.
Oh yeah.
This is totally different.
Yeah, I've never heard of this before. It's called like creative financing.
Yeah, yeah. It's called creative financing for investors. You know what I mean, and marketers such as ourselves. We call it creative financing. Um, rent to own lease options, but it's pretty well called creative financing. Yeah, so this is the second video that Jason's been on. We actually called a seller yesterday, and this is the first time he's actually heard a buyer. And I can definitely send you the video that we did for the seller. And Jason, what would you say is kind of different between a buyer and a seller?
A buyer, you have a buyer. The buyer's looking for stuff that qualifies for him. Like, does the place let you have pets? Um, he wants to have maybe 3, 4 bedroom house. Um, there's stuff that he wants to see. Like this guy that we were just talking to, he wants to see if the seller, even though he did Chapter 7, and even though he went through a lot of issues with the actual seller work with him, um, is the area good? Because the thing is this: even though you have a seller, the seller and the buyer has to meet in the middle. That's in the whole ball game because the seller wants his down and the seller wants his money. But at the same time, when you have a buyer, if the buyer has like problems, most of the time, then if you're not doing a rent to own, he's gonna need a cosigner. But if the seller is able to work with the person, that even
It
though
may
you
be
have bad,
easier to work with a seller. It may be
it's
easier to work with a seller if you
it
ask me.
is easier to work with a seller in this case, the scenario, than when you're doing real estate. Because when you're fully doing real estate, it's totally different ball game than doing finance like we're doing right now. Because most of the time, that if you ever did a chapter 7 or you did a chapter 14, the seller don't want to negotiate or anything like that.
Oh, exactly. You're right. And that's just the thing too is, we look for, when the reason I go for the buyers first is because when we have, that significant down payment, we're able to have more flexibility with the seller. So, the thing is nowadays is people always have situations, a seller could have a house that's $300,000, but he could have just lost his job. So, we could run into a seller just like that. And the buyer that has a good down payment, let's say that guy had 30 grand, a seller could use a good 10 grand. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the seller could just be like, oh, well, I'd rather sell my house outright, but I just lost my career or I just got hurt, so I actually need the money now. So that's where the flexibility of a down payment comes in because most people, they want full cash for their house, and a lot of people are getting it. But on the same token, we have a lot of power right now because let's say, perfect example, I ran to a good example last night. We was talking with my agent, and she said, okay, well, older houses that are worth $300,000 are not going to get sold faster than houses that are built brand new for $200,000, $300,000. Number one, the bank is most likely less to finance a house that is older that is worth that much because the bank doesn't want to finance a house at a full retail price. And if they do, they're going to want to finance a house that is a lot newer. And most home buyers are going to want to, if they're going to pay $200,000, they're going to be like, well, why should I pay that when I can get a newer house, for the same amount? So there's a lot of higher end homes struggling right now to sell their house because a lot of new houses are getting sold, for that same price. So how do you compete with that? If the PS4 if the PS4 came out at the same time as, if the PS4 came out and the PS3 has been out for a while, and the PS4 came out on the same exact price, people would be like, "Oh well, I wanted to get the PS3 because it was cheaper, but now the PS4 is the same price, so I might as well just get the PS4." Same scenario, except
Yeah.
it's with houses. So that gives us a lot of leeway because now we have a motivated buyer who's willing to do some sweat equity, which that is what a lot of older houses have. So he knows that he's not going to qualify for a new house anyway. So he's willing to take on an older house, and an older house might have a little bit of repairs, which he is fine doing by himself. You know what I'm saying? So we have a very, very good buyer right here, that can put down a lot of money, and he's willing to do some repairs. So that looks like we have a perfect buyer. Now we just have to find a house. Do you have any
So I'm
questions?
trying to,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out like exactly how it works. Like when they send a down payment, like how is it that we generate the income?
Well,
Like I'm,
how it works is we get a contract between the seller and a contract between the buyer. What we do is, let's say, if we're not trying to stay in the deal, which is called a sandwich lease option, and we're just assigning it, which pretty much is we're just finding a house for them. So how it works is we're going to get a contract with the buyer, a contract with the seller. On the contract with the seller, let's say the seller wants $10,000, right?
okay.
So we give a contract to the seller, and the seller's gonna is the contract for the seller is gonna say option money $10,000. The rent, let's say 950. So that contract is saying that our company is gonna give that money to the seller no matter what happens. Then let's say the buyer can put down 30,000. So we get a contract with the buyer, and that contract says 30,000. So that deposit money, the deposit fee says 30,000. That deposit money is going to go to us first. Then we are going to go ahead and we're going to break the check off of $10,000 to the seller. Or what we do is we have the buyer write out two separate checks or two separate wires, one for 10,000 and one for 20,000. And we give the seller his 10,000 and then the 20,000 is ours.
Wow. And don't we have to divide the 20,000 between, like, so like, how does it, like, I don't get how it gets divided.
Well, pretty much, you know, everyone's acting individually, you know, to find their own deals and find their own properties and stuff like that. If they do choose to team up, you know, and they can work it out three ways between me, your person, and the teammate and stuff like that. Where I come into where, you know, we're splitting it 50-50 between us is that a lot of deals can still go bad. You know, if you know, there's a lot of people out there that hide the fact that they have liens on their property, and they hide the fact that they might be underwater somewhere or somehow, and deals can still go bad. So if we get a buyer in there and the buyer puts down a down payment and it turns out that there's a lien against the property that the, you know, or
Damn.
you know, yeah, it can still go bad. And the fact that, you know, where I come in to where we're splitting the deals is the fact that you're still entitled your money, but the 50-50 comes into me to where I am assuming 100% of the risk. You know, because there's an example I can give you. My friend actually did a deal. He got, I think he stayed in the deal as well. Pretty much he got $16,000 down from the buyer. Now, the seller was supposed to be paying the mortgage with the money that the buyer was giving him, but instead of paying the mortgage, the buyer was actually just putting it in his pocket and letting the house go into foreclosure.
Oh, damn.
So even if we don't stay in the deal, even though we're just assigning it, even if we're just assigning it, we can still be held liable for that transaction.
So that where we were owed that 16,000, or
it would go against the lien against, you know, or it would go against my company, you know, because that I put, you know, I have an LLC, you know. So
what's the company? What's the company's name?
DC Equity. My company's name is Veteran Home Realty, but it's under my LLC of DC Equity LLC. And the LLC protects me personally, so they can't go into my personal bank account and put that lien or judgment or garnishment of wages against my personal bank account. And actually, it would go against my LLC.
And are we protected under this as well?
Well, that's just the thing is you're protected under the marketing agreement that I send you, you know. So you're protected against the 50%, you know, guaranteeing of the funds of every deal that gets closed. You know what I mean? But to protect you 100% completely until you guys get how the whole process works, my name, my name and my company would go against all would go on all the contracts. So, you know, your name will not be traced back to anything as far as any business that could ever go wrong.
And that's in the contract that we signed.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Because, like, you know, things can go bad, so I'm just thinking, like, will we ever have to, like, God forbid, have to come up with that $16,000, you know, God forbid something was to go bad.
Yeah, that's where I come in, and that's where I'm assuming the risk. You know, if something does go bad, you know, you guys are still guaranteed your money. You know what I mean? But I'm just assuming the risk, and that gives you incentive, you know, for a 50-50 split, because even though you're taking a 50-50 split, you know, you're not assuming the risk to where something would happen and you'd have to pay back that money.
Okay.
You know?
So like if we profited 10,000, you will end up getting 5 and we will have to take the 5 because that's the 50-50 split.
Exactly.
So that's the agreement that we're in. Whatever we make, you get 50% of that.
Exactly. But no matter what happens, that you keep your $5,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, where I'm assuming the risk is that if I did we did the $10,000 transaction, the fact is, since it's on my name and my LLC, I would have to give back the whole 10,000. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Well, you keep your 5,000 no matter what.
Okay. So you do have a real estate license, or you do?
To do this, you don't need to have your license. You know, you don't even need to have an LLC, but having an LLC protects you personally. You know.
Mm. How do you go about getting the LLC?
You go about getting an LLC. You can just contact your local real estate attorney, and they can go ahead and set you up with an LLC.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's interesting. I mean, that's something to look forward to soon. But yeah, so the money gets direct deposited to, like, I'm still trying to understand that part, like where it gets the direct deposited to once you close the deal.